on our mental health. So give me 1 minute. Joining. Oh, wait. Welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome. Today we are seeing the effects of social media on our mental health. So, if you're new here, feel free, feel free to join in and comment and let us know what you think about the effects of social media on your mental health. So, social media and mental health. My friend the other day was telling me that TikTok, the swiping on TikTok has the same effect on the brain, the same as cocaine. And if you've watched my videos on addiction, you know that cocaine is one of the most addictive drugs out there. And the way cocaine works, it's an inhibitor. It inhibits GABA, which stops dopamine. So there is no feeling of satiation, like, oh, I've had enough. So you keep consuming and consuming and consuming because, like the dopamine effect, it's a highway. And this is interesting because we know that we can be addicted to activities like gambling. It's an activity, or shopping. It's not the same as like taking a drug, but activities can be very addictive. And here we see cocaine and TikTok, just the swiping of shots, having the same impact on the brain. So, I mean, that's why it's easy to just go on swiping and swiping for 2, 3 hours, and you're like, I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. And I don't think our society and our culture right now is taking to the fact that young children can get very, very addicted to social media. Some people are saying even children are having tics, like kind of like Tourette's because of consuming social media. It's very addictive. I'm asking you, if you're a parent there, do you think that you should be limiting social media, especially the shorts, the swiping for your children? And if you, like for the guys joining in, let me know on your comments below what you think about the impact of social media on mental health. I was saying, like the other day, I saw very, very, hi Eric, thank you so much. Thank you for coming back. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Yeah, today we are discussing on the impacts of social media on mental health. The other day, my friend was telling me like TikTok has the same effects on the brain as cocaine. Now I know how cocaine works. I know cocaine stops the GABA inhibitor. So when dopamine is released to the synapse, right, it keeps going and going, and that's why people cannot have enough. It's like a hungry ghost. It keeps wanting to consume, wanting to consume, wanting to consume. I'm asking you, do you think social media is making you feel lazy, bored? Because once you start getting addicted to something like social media, you lose interest in other activities. So it can really make you lazy. Everything else can just seems to be like bleh. Like I don't I don't want to go for a walk. I can just sit here and swipe. I don't want to cook. I can just order some chips. You know, keeps you know. I have seen even families. You go on they go for dinner, but they are all on social media. There is no interaction. It's social media. Swipe, swipe, swipe. What do you think? Uh, I am in California, in Orange County. So I'm asking, what I have you what effects is social media having on your mental health? Are you always swiping, swiping? Let me know. Let me know what city you are all from. Nice, you're in Arizona. Kashan, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. Uh, I am not a palm, like I don't do palm reading for some reason. It freaks me out because I'm a Christian. I just don't do palm reading. Um, yeah, so what effect is social media having on your mental health? I know that the swiping call, like the swiping the shots, like whether they're on TikTok, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or on Instagram, they're meant to be addictive. They're meant to just make you swipe, 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 right? And probably you're just going to leave this view here and go swiping to other mediums because it's an addiction. Are you addicted to swiping? Are you addicted to swiping? Just let me know on your thoughts if you're addicted to swiping. Um, yeah. How is social media treating you? The swipe culture, swipe, swipe. Is social media making you lazy? Or how have you thought about the effects that social media is having on your life? Hi, welcome, welcome. Today we are talking about the effects of swiping, social media swiping. I know you just swiped into this channel. Welcome. I'm asking, are you addicted to the swiping culture? Because now we see that swiping social media, whether you're on TikTok, it has the same side effects as cocaine in our brain. It can it can keep dopamine going over and over and over and without the inhibitor GABA. So we are seeing that social media has an ability to keep our dopamine going for hours. And this can be addictive. This can make us to be lazy or forget other responsibilities in our lives. How is social media affecting you? Today we are looking at this huge issue about social media and our mental health. Is it affecting you? Is it something that you can say, maybe I don't have that problem? Or it can be like, maybe it's becoming an issue in my life. Or, I haven't thought about it. What do you think social media, you can vote here, you can comment. What do you think the effects social media is having on your life right now? The swiping culture, TikTok. Hi, welcome. Today we are talking about social media, the effects that social media has on our lives these days. A lot of studies are saying that social media has the same effect as TikTok. As cocaine, like TikTok, especially swiping on TikTok, has the same effects like cocaine in our mind, in our brain. And I'm asking, what effect is social media having on your mental health? Is it making you lazy? everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about social media and the changes that it is having on the brain. Sometimes new studies are saying that frequent use of social media can bring changes in our brain. You know, social media, they're saying, is designed to be addictive, releasing dopamine when the brain in the brain of users, and when people receive likes, comments on their social media post, that's kind of like meant to make you feel good, right? The thing is, with the swiping, the shorts, they are also meant to make you feel good, just like swiping and swiping, endless swiping. And some people have said that, you know, people fear just missing out on social media, so they want to know like what's going on. And you know, the blue light from these devices, it can also cause us not to sleep better. Just having the phone, it can cause us not to sleep better. Again, social media can be very isolating because we are not creating friendships and, you know, connecting with people. When we are swiping, we really like kind of like are not forming that natural bonding and connection which we need for us to, you know, move in business, in career, to have relationships, family. I'm asking, how is social media? Have you noticed any of these things affecting your mental health? Because if it's doing all this, it can really impact you and your mental health. So drop me a comment below. Um, Social media can also have like good benefits, you know, like building relationships. If you're on social media and you're like on those mental health support groups, there's a lot of benefits. Or doing business, there's a lot of benefits that social media can bring about in our lives. Um, so, how are you using social media to empower yourself and building relationship, creating online communities, online support? Because all this can be beneficial. Welcome today. Welcome to Bloom. This is the oasis of self-love. We tackle a lot of mental health issues in our time to make sure that we are on top of our mental health. And today's topic happens to be social media. Today we are talking about the benefits and also negative consequences of social media. I mean, we can use social media to create online businesses, platforms like these to empower people, but social media can also be very addictive. So today we are talking about how can you benefit yourself from social media. Hi, welcome to Bloom. This is the oasis of self-love. Today we are talking about social media. If you want, you can drop your comment below. Um, we're talking about mental health. This channel is really about mental health and everything that we can do to make ourselves feel good and happy and live productive lives. And today we are talking about social media because the other day I saw a blog that TikTok, like just swiping on TikTok like this, just keep swiping, it has the same effects on our brain like cocaine. And I know cocaine stops GABA from being introduced to the cells, so that dopamine always has, it's like a highway, it keeps moving and moving and moving. So people have this high and it can go on for hours, even 3 hours even, you know, where people are just swiping and swiping and swiping. You know, it can cause a lot of things like social isolation, it can lead to laziness, it can lead to like not having pleasure in other activities. And this can be very addictive, especially for us adults. We can be able to limit ourselves and be like, oh, I need to socialize, oh, I need to go do work, or I need to do something. But what about the children? Like, if you're a parent, have you thought about like, oh, what effect would this have on my kid? What is this having on my kid? Because a lot of research shows like teens who use social media for more than 3 hours these days, they are twice likely to experience depression and anxiety because they are not socializing. They're just like on social media, just not, you know, just not going outside and having other people connect with them. So that's a big deal. And then we have brain changes. They said like the frequent use of social media can also affect some parts of our brains. And some kids that are continually like addicted to social media, they're starting to have tics, tics, because I think because they're not out there in the sun, they're not developing their motor skills, they're not kind of like developing normally, and that is like huge. And then the fact that social media, the way they design it, they design it to be addictive to us. The fact that we're swiping, it's meant to make us feel good. So there's all those things that are playing to us, and I'm like concerned. Like, have you thought about yesterday? I was with my friends, we were eating and we were talking about all these things that are happening in our lives today in social media. And most of our friends are like, yes, it is kind of really dangerous if you think about it. It's just the brainwashing. For me, it's like the immense amount of brainwashing where, like I have found people who are like just develop these radical thinking, like ways of thinking, and I can tell for sure, like they're getting all these ideas from social media. They didn't go do their research, think for themselves. It's like there's this radicalization also, like, it's like it's swallowing people into thinking a certain way. I'm not gonna say one way or the other, but I have seen people get radicalized um, and into by the social media. Thanks, Eric. Eric, let me ask you, how has social media been affecting you? How do you think like social media has affected you? Like yesterday, I was at my friend's. We were having like a pajama party, and we talk about a lot of things. Like we were talking about mental health because it's a huge thing, and one of the things that we were talking about is social media. And you see, social media is huge because it's addictive. Like the swipes on TikTok, one thing after the other. And it can't possibly be good for our mental health, because one time you see something that's really nice, and then you see something else that's very like aggravating, and then the other next thing you're seeing somebody eat food. So your brain is kind of moving from this to this to this to this. It's meant to be like that. um, I am a mental health advocate. I am a mental health advocate, you know, and it can be really good for us. And especially if we are swiping from like one topic, I have seen people get radicalized, get so radical on some issues, like move from either right all the way to left, or from the left to the right. And I'm like, is this even normal? Is this even normal for us, our time today? People started watching like let's talk about like the BBL, like the BBLs, the big things that women put on their behind. Um, it started so innocently with like people like J Lo, Beyonce putting stuff, and then Kim Kardashian really blew it, and then there were people like Nicki Minaj, it's social media, doing all this BBL China, and then all of a sudden it was like women, normal people, just going to the doctor doing a BBL, a very dangerous trend, right? And now that these women are like, we are over it. The doctors are saying it's a bad deal, it's unhealthy. Now everyone is stopping, they're trying to. I've seen people put cement on their faces, like you've seen the Batched series where some people had even cement put on their backs, like stuff. People would go into hotel rooms with shady doctors, they would put stuff. And it's all, if you think about it, it's because of social media. They were seeing these trends on Instagram, on TikTok, and they just started like consuming this stuff, and their idea of beauty changed from being natural to and healthy to just like putting stuff, just whatever you can find, let's like do more of it. So how is social media affecting your self-esteem? On that note, You know, do you think social media is affecting the way people think, their self-esteem, and the way they relate to themselves? What do you think of social media and how it's affecting people's lives? You let me know. You let me know. Eric, why are you into palm reading? Does it help you? Or is it something that you do for fun? Let me know. Let me know. I like an engaging. I like engaging. I like engaging on this topic of mental health. I mean, mental health covers a lot of things, right? And if you want to be mentally fit, it's good to know the issues that are affecting your mental health. And social media in our time right now is a huge. You can't separate so like mental health right now without even understanding the impact that social media is having on your mental health. You know, that's why I am an advocate. That's why I talk about these things so that we are all aware that these are huge things. It's not like something really light. You know, it's something worth as taking some tea and talking about. You know, if you think about like the swiping alone being likened to taking cocaine, just like the dopamine levels, like the brain on TikTok is the same brain on cocaine, then it's like, what is happening to the human brain when you're swiping, you know? And it's like you're releasing so much dopamine, and there's, you know, you need to reuptake. Dopamine should go back like from your synapse once you have had enough, like, oh, I've had enough of this, then we should be able to reuptake dopamine. But when there is no inhibitor, it keeps moving and moving into from one cell to another to another. That becomes a huge problem. It becomes a huge problem. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'm depressed, I am stressed out, I am not happy. What if it's your social media addiction? I mean, there's so many things that we can do um, social media wise, like outside of social media, right? We can have friends, we can cook, we go to work, we make money, you know, we plan events, we travel, we do all these things in our lives to help our lives become better. But what if you're just addicted to social media and that's why you're depressed? Because you don't have other people that you're interacting with, because your social life is limited. What if that is the reason why you are depressed? So we have to talk about this thing. This is a mental health channel. I am here to help you and advocate for mental health, and I can't do it without tackling the issue of social media, because a lot of people will not be able to move forward in their lives, in their mental health, without understanding the impact that social media is having on their lives, right? We talk about like BBL. My friend was talking about the other day about social standards, beauty standards, you know, that just the beauty standards alone. When she's on Instagram and she's like, oh my goodness, just being on Instagram, the beauty standards, I start having different expectations of how people look, because we have on Instagram, it's not a real life. People don't look the way that they look on Instagram. People will change, you know, they'll filter their photos, they'll, you know, they'll face tune. Obviously they're going to face tune the way they look, and that is not normal. Like, that's not how they look naturally. And so if you're addicted to Instagram and you're looking at people's shots, people's beauty, how they are looking, like, that's not their normal life. They can make you feel bad about yourself and your life, but that's not their real life. They are faking it on Instagram, they're faking it on Facebook. You know, social media is having us believe on a fake life, and that fake life, believing in that fake life, can actually affect your mental health. You know, you're looking at these fake standards, fake lifestyles that people have, you know, and we think, oh wow, they must be having a good time, they are better, they're having a wonderful life than me, and we can end up just feeling bad about our lives. And that can affect our mental health. We can get depressed, sad, feel like we have underachieved in life because of social media. And we have to be honest and have these conversations and be like, okay, that's a fake life on social media. People don't live that way. These people are trying, to go above and beyond to portray a life, that is not there, just so they can have likes and followers in social media. And we can end up comparing ourselves with people like this and end up feeling like, my life sucks, I'm not always going on vacations. People are having vacations. People are having a good time. I'm stuck here on my 8 to 5 job. I'm working. I'm hustling. I don't even have a job, and these people are just killing it in life. They're having like the best time in life, and you're like, why? Why? It's social media. It's fake. It's social media. It's fake, and it can have negative impact on our mental health. We just have to be honest and tell ourselves that our lives are okay the way they are. We cannot compare ourselves on social media. Better still, we can limit our consumption on social media, because that's not real life. It's not the real life that the people that are portraying, that's not their real life. Most of us live simple lives, normal, regular people living, normal, regular, simple lives. But on social media, this extravagance, people don't even look the way they portray themselves to be. You see people on real life on their social media, they're not as skinny, they're not as light, they don't have like all these like, it's social media. It's meant to be like that so that people can swipe like, and just the beauty standards alone are not good. The other day I had one of my friends, he was complaining, that like everything on social media these days is sexualized. It's like they don't even know how their kids are going to survive in the world of social media, because yes, for them at home, at school, they're limiting, all that. But on social media, where it's like anybody can see almost anything, especially Facebook, you will see people, bad chicks, stalking, like everything that was like X-rated, like you don't even see that on movies. We used to shy off when we see like a kissing scene, like when we were little. It's like, oh my God, oh my goodness, it's happening. You're like almost closing your eyes, because you don't want to see. But in social media these days, it's like something obscene will just like you just be swiping, and then something like you didn't even expect just comes into your screen, and you're like, I don't even want to see this. you know I didn't expect to see this. And again, i I always feel like good mental health is when you're able to limit what's coming your way. But with social media, you can limit what's coming your way. It means like people can put messages into your mind, things into your mind that you didn't want to go into your mind, right? But you are swiping and there it was. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even want to think that way. You know, like just putting ideas and things in your mind that you don't want to see. So I think that for me is like a huge thing that I'm seeing on social media these days. Let me know, what do you think about social media? How is social media affecting you and your mental health? Let me know. Let's continue with this discussion. Yeah, on mental health, social media, mental health. So we've seen like the fake beauty standards on social media, people having a fake life altogether. We've seen like TikTok, just swiping is like our brain being on cocaine because of the dopamine effect of that. So, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot going on with kids, especially. Um, the the sexualization on social media is just a lot. It's just too much. It's like you feel like you're in Vegas 24/7 just because you went on Facebook, like really. But social media can be good. We can use social media for business. People are using it for business. I am using social media for something positive, you know. um, yeah, let me know, what do you think about social media in mental health? Today, welcome. Today we are talking about social media and mental health, and I wanted to see your views on social media and mental health, and how that is affecting your life right now. I was looking at this is a huge topic. I have had people talk about social media and mental health at the workplace, when I'm having coffee shop with my friends, my circle of friends. And I'm like, it's high time we start talking about social media, and the effects that it can have on our mental health. We don't want to admit that, hey, a part of us is probably too addicted to social media. But the better, I feel like knowledge is power. The more we know about mental health and what can impact our mental health, the better for us to escape the trap of being caught up into something. So the other day they were saying that TikTok has the same effect, like when you're swiping, it has the same effect on the brain like cocaine. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, that's a very serious thing. If you're thinking, like, I don't want my kid to be on cocaine, maybe you should also be thinking, I don't want my kid to be on TikTok. you know? It's like that. And then yesterday, my friends, this topic came again. My friends were talking about it. And one of my friends says, like, her beauty standards have changed because of social media. The way we think, like, people should look, beauty standards are changing. So what do you think? Welcome back. We're talking about social media and our mental health. How has social media impacted your mental health? Let us know. Uh, let us know. My friend yesterday was saying that her being on Instagram, it has changed the way she thinks about beauty. And when she thinks about it, she's like, oh, it's all fake. All these photos are tuned up. There's a lot of touching up going on. And, like, just being on Instagram, you can feel less attractive. But all these people are fake. That's not how they look. So, how has social media affected your mental health and the way that you view life? So, welcome everyone. Today, we are talking about social media and its impact on mental health. And one of the things that we are talking about is social media addiction. You know, just being on the phone, addicted to social media. We are addicted to social media. Um, how are you addicted to social media? Just swiping, like, just swiping. Like, are you addicted to the culture of social media? Um, yeah. Somebody is saying that social media is making us a slave to our phone. Like, and that's that's kind of telling when you say slave to your phone. Like, social media is making us slaves to our phone, to our phones. Just the culture of swiping. Uh, Face-to-face interactions, like having a friend, face-to-face interactions, can really ease your anxiety. And I think sometimes on social media we tend to avoid people because it's easier to avoid somebody when you're on social media. It's just easier to be like, let me just stay home and entertain myself because I have social media. Like, before, like, the most of the reasons why we interact with people is because of social media, because like we want and some entertainment, but with social media it's like I can entertain myself. I have my phone. Why not just entertain myself with my phone? You know, why go outside? Why meet people? You know, and I think a lot of things, because I know that kind of like having connections and close relationships is one of the things that really really helps your mental health. Just having friends, you know, people you can call, talk to, it's the biggest impact on your mental health, hands down. Hands down, you know, because loneliness is the number one killer, and it brings a lot of stress just being lonely and not having friends. And you think about it for a second, right? If you're not building communities and relationships on social media, and if you're not interacting with other people, you're just swiping, not forming any community, what that could do to you, that could actually be more harmful. And I think it's how you use social media that matters. It's not that social media is bad, it's just how you use social media that can be negative if you're not having friends outside of social media. And then when you're on social media, you're not building communities, you're not building like groups, support groups or business groups, then it means that you can be isolated completely, and that isolation is terrible for the mental health. So there is that, obviously, like isolation part of it that is like huge, you know, being isolated. Social media, being addicted to social media can be isolating, but it can also be isolating if you're not using social media to make good substantial connections. So we are still doing this. I know that this live stream, I started it late today, because I usually start at 8:30, and I do also at 6 p.m. at 6:30. This way you can build a community about mental health. If you want to, you can subscribe to this channel, and you know, we go live at 8:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then we do another one at 6:30. And if you want to take classes, our classes on mental health, you will have a lot to learn. You have a lot to learn. So yeah, uh, it's nice to, you know, look up from your phone and connect with people, like, you know, across, you know, even before social media, we used to connect with people on the public transport, you know, coffee shop, you know, by simply smiling, saying hello, you know, all those things. Those are normal things. So we do interact with strangers and people that we don't know. So social media is a good platform to do those kinds of social interactions. You can really benefit if your goal is to build connections, build communities, build a business. There, you are not limited in any way. You can do those things. The thing is just like being addicted to just swiping, nothing productive coming out of it. Um, that's the huge thing, you know, when it's not productive at all. So let me know, what do you think about social media, about being addicted to social media? Is this something that you kind of like look at and you're like, yeah, social media can be addictive? You know, social media can have you live a whole different life that you weren't expecting. But I know social media can also be great, you know. I know I have seen a lot of people change their lives and their families and help other people. Like I've seen social influencers, you know, like somebody like Jeremy Damaris. He's a YouTuber from Kenya. I admire his work, the way he helped hundreds of people, you know, change their lives, you know, and it brought about so many stories, inspired a lot of people. You know, that's huge. That's very huge. Like I love that. um, yeah, but there is also like as much as there is a lot of things that we like about social media, there's also negative effects of social media that we must be aware of. And why I'm putting this, I'm not just here to bash social media, to say social media is bad, don't get on social media, please. I'm not here to say like don't get on social media, don't use social media, it's bad, it's this and that. No, 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 no. I'm just saying there are things we need to know about social media. Social media is great. There's so many life-changing things and stories that we've gotten to know, things that we've loved about people on social media. It's wonderful, but again, if we want to be sharp and smart about how we use social media, we also have to know the devastating effects that it has had on some people and their mental health. For example, teenagers, some of the teenagers, if you have a teenager who's always on YouTube, they're locked up in their room, they're isolated. This is the time in their life when they should be learning how to make friends and interact with people, and they're isolating themselves. That could lead to a lot of anxiety and depression, just because it's very isolating when you're just using social media and not interacting with other people. I mean, it's good to be aware of that so that when it starts happening to you, you are able to see the red flags and be like, wait a minute, wait a minute, I need out of here, I need to get out of here. So, we've also talked about like beauty standards, like beauty standards changing, like the BBL movement, people just like, you know, influenced to do all these injections by celebrities and BBLs, and you're like, what the hell, how did this happen? It happens. It happens. um, the fake life, people want to be like people on social media, but a lot of people don't realize like those people are using a fake life. It's a fake life. I'm not saying social media is bad, I'm not saying don't use social media, I'm just saying be aware, that a lot of things happening in social media are fake. People are just, showing off a life that they don't have, just so they can get likes and subscribers and eventually make money. But a lot of people get sucked into believing like, oh, other people are having such a wonderful life, only my life sucks. And then you end up like hating your life, not appreciating the things you have. I've seen people thinking that their marriage sucks because they see other people having a good time on social media and they divorce, and then they realize, it was all fake. Like, nobody goes to 10 vacations like every 2 months. Like, it's, they're like, it's not real. Yeah, no, it's not real. you know um Again, like we see like the sexualization on social media. Sexualization on social media, people don't understand, like, there's something about it. Like, our society is kind of losing ground when it comes to like sexual immorality and all these things happening on social media. It's like we are losing ground, and you're like, your kids might be exposed to all these images of grown men and grown women. You're like, I don't want my kids to see this. The whole social media, there's a lot of over sexualization, and I think we just have to be aware of it. We just have to be aware of it, and be like, wait a minute. I should probably limit my time on social media, just because it's so terribly, misleading. um, yeah, just just to get time to do other things like gardening or going for walks or writing or being creative. I think there is like that, like there is that we have to think about, when it comes to social media and how it's affecting our lives. I have like 15 more minutes. I like to do 1 hour sessions in the morning. So guys, if you have questions, just shoot those questions if you have any, um, because I have like 15 more minutes, and then I'll end this live session. Today we've been talking about mental health, a lot of issues on mental health, especially social media. In this day and age, you cannot isolate social media and mental health. It's just impossible. You cannot isolate any of those issues like together. So one of the things that we are talking about is the brain on TikTok is the same brain on cocaine. And we all know from previous studies that cocaine works by inhibiting GABA. So it's like when there are no red lights or stop signs and you can go anywhere you want without anybody stopping you. You're free to do whatever you want. That is the brain on TikTok. That is the brain on cocaine. It's like swipe, 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 swipe. 10 hours later, you're still swiping, swiping. You know, that can be addictive. That can impact you and inhibit you from living a just normal regular life with activities like cooking, cleaning, going to work. All that impact can have on your brain. That's why we are saying about the brain on TikTok. The brain on cocaine is the same. It's dangerous. Let me know what you think. We are about 15 more minutes. So let me know what you think. Okay, this is my vocabulary time. Obviate. To stop or make needed. I tried to obviate my mother's awkwardness. To stop something. Okay. Yeah, today we are talking about the brain on TikTok, the brain on social media. Is social media making you lazy? For me, I just had to think about social media and the way that it impacts my life. And, I really had to kind of like, even YouTube, I had to take some apps out of my phone. Like I use this phone on a regular basis. So this phone does not have YouTube. This phone does not have social media. The only thing it has is the dating app that I am on. But it doesn't have any other, it doesn't have TikTok, it doesn't have social media at all, it doesn't have Instagram. The phone that I'm using right now doesn't have things that I can go and keep swiping and swiping, because I had to be honest with myself and be like, I am kind of getting addicted to social media. I had to be honest with myself and be like, I am addicted to social media. I just have to limit my way of, swiping. I stopped having Instagram on my phone, the phone that I use. I'm like, I don't have any Instagram here. I don't have YouTube. I don't have TikTok. I just had to see myself and be honest with myself and be like, it's addictive. Like, come on, girl. You've been swiping for like an hour. You haven't worked out. Your dishes are not clean, And I'm like, wait, this is happening to me, and I advocate for mental health, and I had to be like, okay, be real right now. Be real, like make changes real quick. And I can tell you that once you start making those changes, it happens quickly, that your brain starts going back to normal activities, normal life, normal things. There is hope. Like you can stop social media addiction. You can start like going out, seeing more friends, living a healthier lifestyle. But I do these videos so that you can see that you're not the only one. Like if you're having a problem with social media and its impact on your mental health, like you're not the only one. It's affecting a lot of people like you and me, regular people. And I had to think about like social media, how it's impacting me and the way I'm thinking. And I was like, it's not good to have other people influence you that much. you know uh, at the end of the day, it's your mental health. At the end of the day, is your mental health. It's not, you can't just let your brain just like develop like senselessly. A lot of people just don't care how their brain develops, or the ideas that they're getting from social media. They just don't care about the impact that social media has on the way they think, or whether they have friends or not, whether they are addicted, whether they keep swiping, 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 swiping. Like a lot of people don't care. And I'm like, as a social media influencer on mental health, I'm telling you, you have to care. This will impact how much you achieve in life. This will impact your relationships. This will impact almost every area of your life. It impacts even how people vote, right? So it's not something that you can leave and be like, oh, let me just, like keep swiping away without thinking about the consequences or what is happening in your brain and your mind, right? Social media can have devastating consequences on your mental health. I've seen like women do BBLs. Somebody influenced them into doing such a crazy thing like doing a BBL, right? And you're like, oh, it's not affecting people. It is affecting people and the way they view themselves, their image, how they think, how they interact with other people. Social media is king right now. And we have to be aware that when something is so good, to think twice. Just to think twice that it's too good. You're getting addicted to social media 24/7. It's not normal. It's not normal. And a lot of people like are not very vigilant about how social media can devastatingly impact their marriages, their health, the choices they make. uh, we get influenced. We get influenced so quickly, so quickly. It's kind of shocking. It's shocking. A lot of people are influenced even into thinking differently about the agenda. Like, you're like, what? Yeah, it's happening. And the only way you can stop it from happening to you is to becoming aware of the devastating effects that it has, so that you kind of like say like, oh, I'll limit my time on social media. I might limit it to maybe 2 hours a day. Like, if you're not aware of what it does, whew, man, you know oh my goodness, it's oh I know somebody like Selena Gomez was saying, like, don't believe anything you see on social media. It's all fake. It's all of it. Fake, fake, fake. And I was like, yeah, she knows what she's talking about because it's all fake. She knows exactly what she's talking about because it's all fake and it's affecting people's mental health. And a lot of us are isolated. We are always lonely. We are on social media and we are not thinking like, oh, if I deleted these apps from my phone right now, I'd probably have more friends because I'd interact like more. I'm not saying like, oh, go delete all of them, but for me, I have like two phones, so I know that this one doesn't have any social media. It doesn't have any social media. I can just work and do things without constantly having to go around swiping, because I know at the end of the day, the distraction that's coming is just a distraction from the real life, and you have to be aware that, oh, this is a distraction from the real life. With people with mental health, I know we kind of like just say the obvious, like we point out the obvious, and the obvious can be like, yeah, I know that, what? I know that. But when you think about it, it's really not that obvious. It's not that obvious. People don't know how addictive social media is. A lot of people are not aware how addictive it is. A lot of people are not aware how easily it is to be influenced. To one day you thought you were okay with your life, and the next day you think, oh, I need a BBL. You know, it's just that's how social media can be, right? One time you're thinking, oh, just the way that you can get influenced it so quickly. We can easily get influenced, and with time misled. People think like, how do like people like in the cult, like somebody in a cult gets so addicted and they get lost and they get into a cult, they get into it and they get lost completely. Is because the mind is so easily influenced. Those messages every day, every day, every day, every day, eventually they take root. They do something to your brain. And we never think about that. We never think about like how much this can influence our brain, it's social media. You know, if you stop consuming a lot of social media, you begin to sleep well, because they said the blue light on the phone, can affect sleep. It causes sleep disturbance. And then you think about something small like sleep and mental health, and not being able to sleep, and then waking up in the morning and feeling like you're dragging your day from the other day. It's kind of like your day keeps like repeating itself. It's like the same Groundhog Day over and over and over and over. It's because of social media. It's because of social media. And how devastating that can be to mental health. I'm just saying, just be aware that it's happening to us, to everybody, and you can protect yourself and you can protect your family. Just being aware, like, oh shit, this can be devastating. Just being aware of it can help you, manage your life. Being like, this can be addictive. This can stop me from concentrating. This can stop me from sleep. This can stop me from making good connections. This can suck me into a fake lifestyle. This can, affect the way I think. Just knowing that those things can happen is really empowering, and it makes you be on top of your mental health. A lot of us are not on top of it because we don't know what's affecting our mental health, really, what's disturbing. Social media can affect your brain waves. Imagine always being in high beta and not able to go back to theta and alpha brain waves, like just being like in high beta, like, oh, you saw something shocking, another shocking thing, another shocking thing, another shocking thing. It's like you're in high beta all the time, and it can be very addictive. It can be very addictive, but we all know high beta brainwaves are not good for mental health. You can't be on high beta all the time. Your brainwaves cannot be functioning on high beta, and they keep staying there, and you're like, oh, I'm in good mental health. It just cannot happen. It just cannot happen. I have like 3 minutes left. I have 3 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, if you want to hang out more, let me know. But I just have 3 more minutes. Let me know what you think about social media. Today I was meditating in the morning. I was doing my meditation, and you know how I like doing the Wheel of Awareness meditation by Dan Siegel. If you guys have not checked out Dan Siegel, he's psychiatrist here in LA, and he talks a lot about mental health. I love Dan Siegel. His work is just exceptional on mental health. And yeah, I was doing the Wheel of Awareness meditation, and there's that last part where he says, may all living things be happy and live with a joyful heart. And I just want to wish you happiness so that you can live with a joyful heart. Like, may you sincerely be happy and live with a joyful heart. Because it just feels good when you think about it, like, may all living things be happy and live with a joyful heart. Yeah. And may all living things be healthy and, and live in a body that gives them like health and joy. So may you be happy and may you live with a joyful heart, because at the end of the day, that's all we need. That's all we really need, a joyful heart. And may you be peaceful, and live in a life that gives you peace. Because at the end of the day, those are the things that we are all looking for. We are looking for health, joy, peace, That's really it. That's really it. We are seated on a rock that's in space, circling the sun, So may we be happy and live joyfully on that rock, the solid rock that we are floating on, floating on, doing social media, taking tea. It's really amazing when you think about it. Like we are on a rock floating around the sun, and I'm taking tea in space. It's kind of like a miracle. It is a miracle. So, well, may you be happy and like, subscribe. Again, my name is Kanini, and I am a mental health influencer. And I'm wishing you a happy day because I'm about to begin my day. It's 8:30. It's already 9:45. I've been doing this for 1 hour. That was breakfast with Kanini. And well, see you tomorrow, or if you missed your chance, see you this evening at 6:30 p.m. We are going to tackle this issue on social media and mental health. And see you soon. Bye.